Don McNeish and Howard Wood spent 3 decades of their life working to protect their coasts, their waters, and their communities. What happens when the ocean is left alone? No nets, no lines, no catches, just time. On the Isle of Arran at Lamlash Bay, a new experiment began 30 years ago, a no-take zone, the first of its kind in Scotland. Today, it tells a powerful story of sacrifice, resilience, determination, transition, and what nature can do if we simply just step back. In 1995, 2 devoted young men from the small Isle of Arran on the coast of Scotland started to realize a problem with the marine areas surrounding them. Over the course of a few years, during events and daily fishing trips, the number of fish being caught was rapidly declining. The 2 men, Howard Wood and Don McNeish, started the organisation COAST, which stands for Community of Arran's Seabed Trust, to help start saving the marine life. In 2008, COAST created a no-take zone where you are not permitted to fish at all. The zone is located at Lamlash Bay. This area, although small, at 2.67 kilometers squared, marks the beginning of the story to help save our oceans. Before the foundation started, both Don and Howard were very interested in the life that lived below the ocean surface, as they were both frequent divers. The pair had the idea to start COAST after Don had visited New Zealand in 1989, where he discovered the vibrancy and the depth of the marine protected areas. After the pair started COAST, they spent 30 years working towards protecting Arran's sea life. Howard was the chair of COAST for 10 years, from 2008 to 2018. He was mostly involved with the writing of the proposals that the foundation would push towards the government, including the no-take zone and the marine protected areas that were implemented in 2014. In 2015, he was awarded the Goldman Environmental Prize and the OBE for his work on protecting British marine life. Don was the first official ambassador for COAST and was one of the main reasons for the no-take zone being implemented. What does the coast mean to you?
Well, when you live on an island, you can't escape from it. It's pretty kind of obvious. It surrounds us.
Of course.
And so, ourselves both for 40, 50 years being divers, a major part of our life.
Wow.
So, seeing what we saw in the 1980s, 90s is heartbreaking. So, you know.
What did you see in those times?
Initially, we saw what was left, and then we just saw that being scooped up. But being divers, we grew up round about the island, and when you're a diver, you actually move into the sea and then down underneath it, and it gives you a completely new perspective.
In 2003, Rob and I were both elected to the Scottish Parliament as members for the Highlands and Islands, Rob for the SNP and me for the Greens. Shortly after we were elected, friends of ours in Arran told us about COAST, about their campaign to get a no-take zone, some protection for Lamlash Bay. And obviously we were completely in sympathy with this. So we came to Arran and we met them, and we had a long conversation about the aims of COAST and the difficulties they were facing.
We have to have the ability to protect the seas, and this was a prime example in Scotland of the potential for this and many other areas. So that process went through, the committee recommended it, the government, the Labour government accepted it, but then an SNP government came in and the SNP minister passed the order that made the no-take zone a legal entity, the first in Scotland, and therefore a breakthrough.
Cool.
So our part of the story was in getting things into the Parliament and using the parliamentary process to help local citizens with key issues that they were keen on and indeed the wider community was keen on too.
Nestled in the Firth of Clyde, the Isle of Arran, often called Scotland in miniature, a place where mountains meet sea and generations have lived with and from the water. But beneath its picturesque coastlines lies a history of environmental decline. For decades, Arran's once thriving marine life was devastated by industrial-scale fishing and seabed dredging. Trawlers and scallop dredgers tore through the delicate habitats, stripping the seabed bare, collapsing local fish stocks. What was once a rich underwater landscape of seagrass meadows and marl beds became a marine desert. Communities that had long depended on the sea watched their livelihoods and their ecosystem disappear. It was here, against the backdrop of ecological crisis and government inaction, that local voices rose, calling not just for protection, but for restoration. Coast was once just a simple idea, but now, as you can see, through the resilience of both Howard and Don, within 30 years, it has become so much more than just a community that is dedicated to saving the sea.
Yeah, so in 2022, the Nature Library came to Coast and it did a pop-up of all books that were to do with like marine life and the sea, whether it was poetry, non-fiction, fiction, lots of different things. So we were here for two days, just in the marquee on a day like this, which was brilliant. And yeah, I just really love everything that they do. The reason I started the Nature Library was because storytelling and other ways of engaging with the natural world, like through community spaces and free to attend, different ways that people can engage with these stories and the natural world and the sea is really important to me. And they gave me a space to do that, and yeah, I just love what they do.
Well, I think it's an absolutely splendid initiative, and I was so thrilled to see that we've got the first no-take zone in the UK and that a lot of other European countries have followed suit. And I was in the south of France just last week and I came across a poster and they were advertising their own no-take zone down there as well, around Cap d'Aille. So I was very proud that L'Amlash was at the forefront, really.
I think it's an amazing organisation. I think having that organisation so close to us here on Arran so that they understand the environment that we're in, they understand what it is we're trying to achieve, and they're right here to give us advice, help, and guidance really on anything that we want to do. And they're so supportive of every initiative that we want to do. So, you know, for example, there was an island that was recently purchased just off Arran, and they came along and they gave us some good advice on how the developers might want to work with nature to do the development. So, for example, develop outside of breeding season, make sure that they didn't disturb the Arctic terns, all those sorts of things. And it's fantastic having them here to do that.
Arran's community is one that is infatuated with fish and marine life as a whole, both as meals and as attractions with aquariums. Due to this love of sea life and the waters, it's no surprise that there are mixed feelings on the no-take zone. For today, the Coast Foundation has just wrapped up 30 years of hard work and has made great progress on the restoration of the aquatic life. However, it has still got a long way to go to return to the glory days when life was bouncing right out of the sea. Although that may be it for the present of Coast, what about the future? Is there still hope for the life that Coast is trying to protect?
What do you think the future of Coast could look like come in the next 5, 30, 50, 100 years?
I think it will evolve. It'll evolve as the situation evolves.
How?
Assuming that you got good management, the need for coast would be much less. You know, but that's a big assumption, a really big assumption. And also, I think politicians need to be held to account, and organisations like Coast attempt to do that.
So Coast has expanded so much over the past 30 years. We started as a small community group and now it's grown to this a pretty massive organisation with 100 volunteers, like 8 staff. So yeah, I think for the next 5 years, what we hope to do and our aims for Coast and Arran is for Arran to be a model for other coastal communities around Scotland and globally. And so what we hope to do is engage more with other coastal communities and empower them and provide them with support and any resources they need to maybe start a journey similar to one that Coast has been through and Arran community's been through for the last 30 years.
I think another thing as well is just to keep the momentum growing and going on what we've built here. Following David Attenborough's Ocean film this year, it's been so lovely to see a lot of interest around Arran, and there'll be tourists that come and visit with a special intention to explore the marine environment around here because of the no-take zone and how special that is. So I think really it's just instilling that excitement about what the Arran community have been able to build over the last 30 years and inspiring others to do the same.
The Coast Foundation has done the most difficult part, which is to start the move. Now, all they have to do is keep going and keep holding on to the determination that made them strong in 1995 to achieve the end goal and revive the oceans and to protect our coast. For more information about what coasts do, how to get involved, and the best time to visit, head over to their social media and their websites for more information. We must give a special thanks to you and to the Coast Foundation. Remember to like, share and subscribe for more content from TV Ayrshire, including more episodes of Hidden Ayrshire, sports coverage and news from all around Ayrshire.